What's happening, good people? Welcome to the channel. I'm Wes, aka Mr. Budget Watch, and today we are reviewing the Hamilton Khaki Mechanical. This was kindly loaned into the channel by the watch shop, but it does have to go back to them once the review has been completed. If you have never heard of the watch shop, they're an online retailer, probably the biggest in the UK. They have some great deals on watches such as this one, Seiko's, Tissot's, and loads of other brands as well. Their link will be down in the description. So as always, we're going to talk what I like, what I don't like. You guys know from my when I actually got one of these for myself, I do have one. I'll admit, I'm a little bit biased towards this one, but it's not perfect, and I'm going to tell you why it's not perfect in the review. So let's start off with the sizes, and then we're going to talk what I like and the problems that I have with this watch. So this one is a very nice 38mm, perfect for my slim wrist, 41.8 including that crown, nice 20mm lug width, 47mm lug to lug. The crown is actually 6.3mm, thickness is 9.6, and 12mm including the supplied NATO strap, but that will vary depending on what strap you get it on. 57 gram weight on this strap, 316L steel with like a bead sandblasted finish, 50 meters of water resistance, sapphire crystal with no AR coating. And well, that is probably my biggest issue with this watch, straight out the gate, the lack of AR on that sapphire crystal. You can just see it now, how reflective it is. You can see my light up in the corner, you can see my camera, and yeah, it definitely needed a couple of coats of clear AR. Really not sure why they didn't do that at this price point, in my opinion. It wouldn't have tarnished the vintage aesthetic of it, in my opinion. I think it would have just helped with legibility, because as you can see now, it's just not good. It's definitely worse on the black dial than it is the white dial, but it's still pretty bad on the white dial as well. So definitely Hamilton should have put some AR coating on this, and it would have just made it so much better, in my opinion. Even, you know, putting it at an angle, you can see it does reflect so bad. So yeah, definitely should have. So we're moving on to the bezel, and you can see, well, it's just a really nice slope bezel, sandblasted, bead blasted finish. Very, very nice quality. To the dial, you can see we've got a very nice contrasty white printed minute track on that black dial. You can also see we've got some little arrows at every marking, and they are actually painted in lume. They've got that faux patina look, you know, to give it that little vintage flourish, and I think it does work really well with the black. I think the contrast is nice, and it's all very cleanly done. Moving in again, you can see we've got all indices and no date, which is awesome. Really nice symmetrical dial. Moving in again, you can see we've got that 24-hour for military time, and then we've got Hamilton under the 24 and 12, and then Swiss made right down at the bottom under the 6. So it's very, very clean, very minimal and understated, but that's what a field watch should be. That is the essence of a field watch. Really clean, really minimal, and not much going on. To the handset, you can see we've got a really cool second hand with an arrow tip and a lollipop counterbalance. And then we've got these syringe style, and those are filled with lume, and again, that faux patina look. And do you know what? The lume, it's not half bad. It's not the brightest, it doesn't last the longest, but for a field watch with very small indices and slim hands, I think the lume is pretty decent. It's definitely not the best field watch I've ever seen in regards to lume, but it's pretty good. It gets bright, it lasts a good amount of time. I think it's quite evenly lit as well. The indices aren't like really bright and the hands are dull, and the hands aren't really bright and the indices are dull. I think they've got a nice balance. Again, it's not the brightest and most legible in really dark situations, but it does a good job of creating a nice aesthetic. Yeah, it could have been a little bit better, but then again, with those small indices, you can't really pack much lume into those. So I think Hamilton have done a decent job with what, you know, they've got. The dial is flat black, but I think that's really nice because it just creates a really good contrast against the rest of the dial. So taking a look at that case, you can see we have a really beautiful slender profile. Again, 12mm thick with that strap, 9.6 without it. Drilled lugs, always nice to see, and I just love this finish on field watches. This and titanium are my top finishes for field watches. It just creates such a rugged and utilitarian look. But yes, I'm liking the drilled lugs because it makes swapping out straps so much easier. To this side, you can see we've got that same beautiful profile and a sign crown with the embossed Hamilton logo. The crown actually is really nice, got some good grip on it. It's like a coin edge, very nicely done, and it's wide too, so you can get some good grip on it. Obviously, you need a good crown with this being mechanical, but more on that later on. So what we're going to do now is take a look at that case back, but obviously we have to take the strap off first. And there is your case back. So you can see we have a screw down case back, and then we've got this brushed finish all the way around with some specifications in it and the model number. And then we've got this like half and half finished case back, Hamilton logo with a brushed radial finish, and then Hamilton engraved into the other side. And then we've got this really fine sandblasted case back. I think it's very understated, but it's well executed. It's definitely not the coolest case back I've ever seen, but I think it suits the watch quite well. So moving on to the strap, you can see we've got this very, very nice high quality NATO, and it is very, very high quality. This nylon fabric is so smooth, one of the smoothest I have ever come across. Really, really good quality, really nice quality leather keepers as well, really soft and well done. Then we get down to this section, you can see we've got the adjustment holes bolstered with some leather, really nice quality stitching, and you can see we've got a leather end as well. Moving on to this side, you can see the two keepers stitched into place, double stitched, really nice quality leather, nice stitching on the inside again. And then we get to the buckle. I really like the style of it. It's simple, it's clean, Hamilton branded, brushed, really slender. The only issue is it's actually sharp on the inside just here. So it's not the best finished in my opinion. A little bit of a shame that they've like not gone the extra thing and just give that a little smooth, because it is a little bit rough. The tang though, really nice quality. The buckle is nice quality, but it's just the finishing is a little bit rough. And here it is on my 6-inch wrist, and I think it wears absolutely fantastic. 38mm, 47 lug to lug is just about perfect for me. If it was 46, oh, that would just be my perfect size watch for my slim wrist. It will fit you guys with thicker wrists as well. You guys with slimmer wrists than me, oh, I don't know. I think with it being a 38mm, it might fit, but those lugs are a little bit long in my opinion. I mean, it fits me absolutely fine, but I think if you guys have got slimmer wrists, then I don't think it's going to fit, unfortunately. Unless you don't mind maybe a little bit of lug overhang. For me, it just fits just about bang on in line with the top and bottom of my wrist. So yeah, sizing, can't complain. And I think the proportions, I think they're a little bit off. Like I said, one of my little complaints about this watch is just the proportions of it. I really do like it, but I just think those lugs are just ever so slightly too long. I think they could have been doing with being a little bit shorter. But I think the diameter is spot on for my size. But again, you know, you guys with thicker wrists could probably rock this quite easily as well. Onto the profile, you can see we're not really getting the benefit of this curved case because it's on a NATO which passes under the watch twice, so it does ride a little bit high. Obviously the watch is really slim, so that doesn't really matter. It's not top heavy, it's a really super lightweight watch. It's near as damn as light as a titanium watch, which is crazy. But yeah, really slender. You do get a little bit of a gap obviously because of that NATO, so if you really want a low profile, then this one's putting on a two-piece leather, two-piece NATO or something like that, and then it really hugs the wrist nicely. Strap next, so comfortable, really soft fabric, doesn't fatigue your skin at all, doesn't cut into your wrist or anything. It is so comfortable. We do get a little bit of irritation from the rough finish underneath this buckle though, so that is a little bit of an issue. Last adjustment hole for me, so if you've got slimmer wrists and you want one of these, then you're going to have to put it on a third-party strap, unfortunately, because this one, like I said, is probably not going to fit you if you've got slimmer wrists than me. But yeah, it's a very lightweight, very comfortable watch. But yeah, I think the lugs are just a little bit long in my opinion. So let's round this review out with the movement. So this is using a caliber H50, which at its base core is an ETA 2801-2, which is also a mechanical movement. So this has an insane 80-hour power reserve. It's obviously a hand winding mechanical, 17 joules, 21,600 beats per hour, and it does have hacking. Accuracy, I couldn't really find some solid figures. I found one that it said he was getting around plus 4.7 seconds per day. But I couldn't find an actual accuracy for this movement. I did look for a while. Maybe you guys know down in the comments and you can let me know if you know the proper accuracy for this movement. But essentially what Hamilton have done is took the ETA, which is a high beat mechanical, and they've actually slowed it down a little bit to double the power reserve. I think that's perfectly fine on a field watch. I don't think it really needs to be high beat on a field watch. Because, you know, well, it doesn't need it in my opinion. But yeah, high beat, I think it suits dress watches really well. But field watches, I don't think it needs it. But yeah, really good quality movement there. Super impressive power reserve. I mean, you can wind this up, put it down for a couple of days, pick it up again, and it's still going to be working. And that is one of the best things about this movement. It also feels fantastic as well. When you're winding it, you get a really nice, satisfying click, and the action feels so good. The crown is fantastic as well. One of the best crowns I've ever used. The sizing is spot on, plenty of grip, really wide as well, so you can get a nice purchase on it so you don't really slip off it, and you can just wind it so efficiently. It is brilliant. And then all that you have to do is pop it out one. Pop it out one. There we go. And you can see it does hack. And then we can adjust the time, and it is so smooth as well. No feedback at all, so no horrible gritty feeling, and it is buttery smooth, so no issues whatsoever. And then you just pop it back in and off it goes again. So now we get on to the verdict. What do I think of this watch for the price? Well, currently Watch Shop has this for $355, which is £40 lower than regular retail. US, that's going to be around $495 I've seen it listed for. But again, if you shop around, you might be able to find it cheaper. So the issues I'm having with this watch: 50 meters of water resistance, needed to be 100 in my opinion for an everyday style watch. The lack of AR coating on that crystal is it's not a deal breaker in my opinion, but I think it should have had a couple of layers of clear AR. It wouldn't have tarnished the aesthetic of it, and it would have just made it more legible. So I think Hamilton, if they ever do a version 2 of these, get some clear AR coating on it. No one's going to mind, and they're going to really appreciate not having this horrible glare on it. So yeah, that's just one of them things. Little issue with the finishing on the buckle as well. Not a deal breaker, you can always swap out the strap, which I've done on mine anyway. So yeah, not massive deal breaking issues. AR, yeah, it really does need it. Should be 100 meters of water resistant though, for an everyday wearing watch. And other than that though, it is a cracking little field watch. I absolutely love it. The vintage aesthetic, oh yeah, the proportion as well, a little bit off in my opinion. The lugs are a little bit too long. But other than that, cracking field watch. It's one of my favourite field watches, you know, that I've ever had hands on with, and one of my favourite ones of all time. Yes, it is by far from perfect, but for me, it's just everything I need in a watch. Great power reserve, really slim, really lightweight, super comfortable, legible. I can't really ask for anything more out of a watch. Yes, it is a little bit pricey, which is why I bought mine second hand. So, you know, if you guys haven't got 355 quid laying around, check on eBay. That's what I did. Managed to get one for 200 and something quid. Bargain at that price. But yeah, Watch Shop also do finance, and they also do discounts occasionally as well. So you might actually get it cheaper than that 355. But again, you know, do your own research, shop around, and you might find it at a really good price. But is it worth its 355 quid? I'm just going to say no. Until it has AR on 100 meters of water resistance, I wouldn't say it's worth 355, not 395 either. I think it definitely needs to be cheaper until it has those issues fixed. But it is a cracking field watch, I can't deny it. Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any uploads. And of course, follow me on social media at Mr. Budget Watch. Thanks again. I'll see you soon.